And now, in a shocking revelation in 2019, the world learning of an international forced organ harvesting market in China. And today, it seems the practice still ongoing. So a group of Israeli rabbis now calling on Israel to take action against the perpetrators of this horrific crime, the Chinese Communist Party. ILTV's Aaron Porras reporting.
From the erasure of history and cultures to forced labor internment and so-called re-education camps, the Chinese Communist Party now outdoing even its own previous crimes against humanity, with a London tribunal revealing in 2019 a $1 billion per year industry of forceful organ harvesting and trade, which continues to this day. The International Court of Inquiry reporting some 1.5 million detainees in Chinese prison camps, many of whom are being murdered every year so that their organs can be harvested and traded for transplant. In fact, in its published conclusion, the tribunal alleging that forced organ harvesting has been committed for years throughout China on a significant scale, and that the practice is of unmatched wickedness on a death-for-death basis with the killings of mass crimes committed in the last century. And this especially as the victims almost entirely consisting of political dissidents and ethnic minorities like the Tibetans, the Uyghur Muslims, and practitioners of Falun Gong, a spiritual discipline that China banned in the 90s as, quote, an evil cult. Further, witnesses even testifying that in many cases, surgeons were forced to extract organs from living patients who resisted the operation but were too weak to succeed. In light of this evil, then, a consortium of 26 rabbis in Israel drawing on the Jews' victimizations themselves at the hands of a murderous regime in calling for Israel to speak out against Beijing. In an open letter to Israel's incoming government, the undersigned asking Jerusalem to seriously examine the continuation of cooperation with the Chinese regime in a number of critical areas until China can prove beyond a doubt that these actions have ceased. And among the partnerships mentioned, Israel asked to stop the cooperation in security, including police training, to stop the transfer of Israeli technology that could endanger the Chinese people, and the prohibition by law of any sharing between Israel and China on the issue of organ transplants and other medical issues that could be used to harm the citizens of China or support the perpetrators of these crimes, even indirectly. Time will tell if the new coalition will indeed heed the call to seek justice for those suffering under these horrific crimes at the hands of the communist Chinese government.
Joining us now with more on this story is Tal Babich, human rights activist. Thank you for joining us. So, we've just heard the claims, the findings of the London tribunal. What, very shocking, very saddening. What more can you tell us about this?
Yes, it's very, very shocking information. It's hard to believe for many people. But unfortunately, many researchers and many groups already know that China is doing this, and they're doing this for a long time, probably since 20 years or even more than 20 years already, and in very large scale. Unfortunately, because China has very big censorship, it's very hard to know what's going on, but the numbers are huge and the methods are very terrible. They're doing this from live people, almost without any
anesthesia.
Yes, very terrible, something very, very brutal, and they're doing this for young, innocent people, not for criminals, for innocent people, especially for Falun Gong practitioners, and recently also for Uyghur minority.
And now a group of rabbis has called on the Israeli government, to halt or to limit cooperation with China. How likely is it that the Israeli government will call out the Chinese government on this?
Actually, I'm not so optimistic that it will happen immediately, but I hope it will be another step in the right direction, because in my view, it's not correct for Jewish state, for our people that said never again, not long time ago after the Holocaust. Now, some experts even say that 3 Holocausts are going on in China against Falun Gong, against Uyghur people, and against Tibet minorities, and even Mongolian people. Many atrocities. So it's the right step, and hopefully one day it will happen, but let's see. We're just trying to do something.
And has there been a response from other countries in the world aside from Israel?
Actually, there is a response. It's still not enough, in my opinion. But recently, European Parliament discussed this very seriously, and they issued official condemnation to Chinese regime, and of course, USA trying to do something. And also, there are some organizations that medical organizations that they try to limit cooperation and to raise awareness. There is some activity, but yes, more is needful to really bring a change.
Mm-hmm. And you know, who are the rabbis that were involved with this letter to the government?
It's 26 rabbis. Actually, all of them are from religious Zionism, not the Orthodox. But actually, I couldn't reach the Orthodox rabbis. I contacted also those religious Zionism rabbis. And there are very different people. For example, the former minister, Rabbi Michael Malkior, who was the head of the Meimad, like the left wing of the movement. And from another point of view, there are rabbis like Aviner, and even rabbis from the Hebron area, like very different rabbis, but all together in this humanistic aspect, they came together. It's something that like different people of different views can support it after they understand what's going on. Many people just don't know.
All right, well, you've brought this issue to light. A new coalition forming. We'll see if they address this issue. Tal Babich, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.